Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I've been doing okay. It's been a stressful time on house arrest. I'm ready to come back to school. I'm ready to go back to work. Um, Having to sit still for so long is definitely not something that I care to do that much. So anyway, I'm glad to hear everybody's doing well. Um, I did my group project on anger management. I wrote an 8-session cognitive behavioral therapy anger management 8 sessions. I didn't rewrite the Bible or anything. I got some information. I put the best information together based on what I thought were the most important things that I wanted to cover in the 8 sessions. Cognitive behavioral approach to anger management involves teaching group members how to recognize the warning signs when their anger is on the rise. Teachings consist of relaxation strategies and calming techniques to create the ability for behavioral changes. It's also important to include how to change the thoughts that fuel the anger, to create pathways for cognitive changes. Anger, a word that identifies behavioral reactions to conflict. Most will agree that anger is a simple, healthy emotion, unless it's out of context, and then it can be pretty threatening. By adding hostility and aggression to that emotion is when it can become unhealthy and counterproductive, and a counterproductive response. Anger also labels people's learned internal experiences, such as thoughts, images, verbal, nonverbal towards conflict. Using that, you'll see when I get into it, using the ABC form, is really important. I feel like in anger because, a lot of times there's no B, there's no thought process between the event and the response, which then the response becomes a reaction. And so that is basically going to be the premise of where I do things, plus learning triggers and things that, things with feelings that you start having right before you're ready to have an outburst. I did a little bit of research. I talked with 2 different judges. I talked with 2 different people I know at jails, looking at a roundabout percentage of the people that are in there for anger management, coupled with substance abuse, that really doubles it pretty much. It's like a 20% higher, but just about everybody that is in anger management, even if they don't have a substance abuse problem, the time they did it, they were, having too much to drink or whatever. Something fueled the anger management. Talked to one inmate. He said that I just want another different way to handle my woman, and I thought, I was upset. I was like, whoa, that's a little bit out of context for me. But what he was really trying to say was that he needed a new set of skills. That what he had going for him wasn't working. He was afraid he was going to end up in prison. In the state of Mississippi, Child Protective Services if you're on probation, mandates you to go to anger management, especially if there is a minor child in the house, because anger management teaches you how to resolve conflict. And most people that go to jail or have the children taken from them or are in any kind of situation like that that's negative, somewhere along the lines it started out in a conflict that got out of control, even if they're conflicting themselves and moving on to the substance abuse. So conflict resolution skills are really important. I did a little research talking about some things, that, between couples, substance abuse, my own research talking to jails and the judge from CPS in Hancock County. And just, I know a lot of people. So knowing these people, I talked to a few people, and I wanted to do something that was going to I have in here, the reason this group was chosen is that in my personal experience, I noticed people suffer from a lack of conflict resolution skills. Revisited 3 county jails that I previously ministered in. The status quo is the same. Many young people are in jail for anger-related issues. Even their charges may be a result of different offenses. And the seriousness of this is, I would like to see this anger management taught in high school. You should have anger management before you get married. I think it should be as important as marriage counseling before you get married. So you understand that, the people that make you the worst mad are the people that, you really have to learn to resolve conflict with. It can get pretty, you got to learn how to manage your aggression properly. You got to learn how to identify what goes on with you when you're mad, and what does anger mean to you, and learn healthy ways to respond to difficult situations. Get married, you'll understand difficult situations. I mean, that's not a negative thing, but there's people out there that believe that when they get mad, they have every right to go from the event to I'm going to react to you immediately, and it causes a lot of problems. It's been proven through most of the research that the knowledge of self-actualization increases motivational change. So if you understand what and why you're doing, you might be a little more motivated to change. If you're the kind of person that, if they would act right, your life would be okay, more than likely anger management's going to help you out too, because you have to realize your part in it. You have to commit to getting to know yourself before you're going to be willing to change your behavior. And I feel pretty certain that that what I've done would create some success. And look, I'm the kind of person at my age, I'm not 20 years old, so everything I do has a well-rounded approach. So my plan for the class is to help the community meet the community needs for anger management, and it be, accepted by the courts, and then this is going to put me in front of the population that I seek to treat. I seek to treat the drug addicts, the lost, women who've lost their children. These are I have a heart for these people. I have a heart for, inmates. I don't know where it is. I think it's a God-given thing. Absolutely, I do. But anyway, so it's going to put me in front of these people, and then the population I seek referrals from, and it's ethical, it's practical, it's a community service, it's a win-win situation for meeting my goals and helping others with theirs. And so it was a very well-rounded approach that's going to meet my needs as well as the needs of the community. And at this point, I want to do things that are going to help build my career, but I also want to be put in front of the people that I'll be able to help the most, that I seek to help the most. Cognitive behavioral anger management therapy group, 8 sessions. We have the rules. You got to sign in. You cannot miss any. If you miss any, you can keep coming, but you can't get a certificate. You got to roll back over, and you will have to repay for the class. So it's very affordable. So I hadn't put a price on it yet, though. So session 1 is an overproof of anger management. If you look, I have a table of contents. I have sign-in sheets, very important, it's the first thing you do. And then, I have the sessions drawn out, which session 1 is the purpose of the group rules, discussion with worksheets. What is anger? What does anger mean to you? Habits of response, are they a problem? Payoffs versus consequences, myths of anger, anger equals aggression. Take home worksheet Q&A. Always going to have some homework, because if you don't go home and practice what you learn, you're never going to know if you can be applicable in your life, or if you are doing something with treatment and it's not measurable, then you don't know if it's working or not. So you got to understand, the only way I can know it's measurable in 8 weeks is to, look at what people are practicing to do, So then session 2, a discussion worksheet, events that trigger anger, cues to anger, behavior, physical and emotional, coping skills to monitor anger, and then some homework. And each time when we come back, we will assess what's going on and then proceed to, to the different sessions. And this is just how it goes. There's some worksheets and to do in it, and I would take each one of them out, and then as I take them out, you know, make copies for everybody. This is an anger meter. This is questions. You'll always have some papers that are going to question where you are after we've learned a lesson. That way, as I said, measurable. So you know, there's definitely going to be some coping skills and some breathing exercise, some strategies. One of my favorite one, we've got session 4, the aggression cycle. So we've got cycling and anger meter, and we're going to be identifying your hidden anger, because we all have that as well. Cognitive restructuring, which is the ABC model, the thought process. A is the event, B is what you think about the event, C is what you do about it, D is checking yourself. So, you know, people with anger management issues go from A to C. Something happens, I break something, I curse somebody out, I hit somebody. But B is going to stop you from doing that if you're willing to stop and think about it after you've identified the triggers inside of you that trigger your anger and the feelings that are attached to that anger. So we have session 6, assertiveness and conflict resolution. There's a difference between aggression and being assertive. Being aggressive is forceful. Being assertive is confident. And the two things get very mixed up. People think they're assertive and sometimes they're aggressive. Sometimes people are aggressive when they're nervous, and it just needs to be tweaked a little bit so that you can be assertive. And then session 8 is closing, graduation. You will get a certificate. Everyone, we're going to have testimonies. People are going to talk about what they learned, how they're going to apply it, and they will get I'm trying to get to it. They will get a certificate, and that's always, you know, and families will be there. Your family will be able to come, and there's a certificate. And the 2 judges that I talked to and the clerk of court of one of the counties I talked to said that this would definitely be something that would work, especially because, you know, it's affordable and they would be able to do it, and it's required, and like I said, it would help me. So that's what I decided I was going to do, because it felt like that was something that was going to work for me and benefit me. Thank you. I hope to see everybody in the summer. Take care of yourselves, be well, and hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.